For certain self-publishers, it is absolutely critical to set up a legitimate, registered publishing company to publish their books through. Are you one of them? Today, we're going to cover who needs to set one up, why it needs to happen, when you should do it, and what might be at stake if you don't. If you're new here, I'm Rachel Harrison-Sund, and I've published over 1,000 fiction, nonfiction, and low-content books under various brand names, and I've taught over 5,000 other self-publishers how to generate passive income creating and selling journals, planners, and other low-content books on Amazon KDP. So why bother starting your own publishing company to begin with? Well, there are quite a few benefits, and the first one is taxes. When you have legally registered your own business, suddenly you're able to write off business-related expenses, and that is going to lower your overall tax bill. So these are things like your salary, the money that you pay yourself, any money that you pay for contractors if you hire an editor or a cover designer. It also includes things like business travel. So if you've got some sort of a writing or other business-related conference that you want to attend, airline tickets, hotel, meals. It also includes any advertising and marketing expenses. It even includes home office expenses, so utilities, property taxes, internet, anything that you use in your home office. All of these expenses get added up, and then at the end of the year, come tax time, all of those expenses are going to be deducted from your gross revenue, the overall revenue that you made. What you're left with is your net revenue, and that is the portion that you get taxed on. So depending on how big your expenses are, that can make a pretty significant reduction to your overall taxes that you end up having to pay. It can also help reduce your overall personal tax bill as well. If you're making a fairly significant amount from your publishing, you can choose to only take out of the company what you need to live on. So I'm just going to use myself as an example. When I incorporated, I was making $100,000 a year. I did not need $100,000 a year to live on, so I would only remove $60,000 a year from my company, leaving that remaining 40 or whatever was left over in my company. And then for my personal tax bill, I was only going to get taxed on the $60,000 and not the $100,000. Now my company still got dinged taxes for whatever I left in it, that additional 40 plus thousand, but where I live, corporate taxes are taxed at a much lower rate, and it's probably the same where you live as well. So that was able to reduce my overall tax bill just in terms of business and my personal taxes. Another way I was able to reduce my tax bill even further is that rather than pay myself a proper salary, I paid myself in dividends. Dividends, again, get taxed at a much lower rate than if I was to pay myself a salary. Another benefit is the perceived legitimacy and credibility. So when you self-publish, if someone goes to your book detail page on Amazon and they scroll down to from the publisher section, it'll say independently published. Now, if you have your own publishing company and you have purchased your own ISBN, which will be linked to your publishing company name, when someone goes to your book detail page and they scroll down, they will see the name of your publishing company. It will not say independently published. And that is very important to some people. Now, under that umbrella publishing company that you create, you can also create different publishing imprints if you like. So let's say you publish a series of fiction books, but you also publish some low content books like journals and planners, and you want to keep those two separate. A publishing imprint is basically a book brand name that you can use to publish under. So you might have your umbrella publishing company called, I don't know, Amazing Press, and then underneath that umbrella publishing company, you might have two different publishing imprints. So for your fiction books, you might publish those under Crazy Mysteries Press or something like that. And your low content books, maybe they're planners and they're called like, I don't know, Hyper Productivity Publications or something like that. Those different publishing imprints are going to show up as the publisher on your book detail page. The third type of person that should really start off right from the bat with a publishing company is someone who is publishing around controversial topics that might get themselves opened up to lawsuits. There might be some reason why someone might want to sue you for anything that you're publishing, then you definitely want that legal protection of the company structure. So who does not need to worry about starting a self-publishing company just yet? Anyone who's just starting out and is not making any recurring revenue just yet. Wait until you are making some money and you know that this is something you want to do long term, because it is a little bit of an involved process getting your corporation set up, and it costs money as well. Also, if for you publishing is just a hobby or a little bit of a side gig, then you probably don't need to worry about it either. Okay, so let's get into the steps of how to actually start your own publishing company. And if you're finding this video helpful so far, please give it a like. And if you'd like to be notified the next time that one of these videos comes out, which is every Monday, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification as well. Now, step number one is to choose your business structure. And this is going to vary depending on what part of the world you live in. But if you're in the United States, there are several different types of business structures. There is a corporation, a sole proprietorship, a partnership, and an LLC, a limited liability company. Now, most self-publishers are going to go with either a sole proprietorship or an LLC. Now, the sole proprietorship is going to be the easiest to set up, but if, heaven forbid, you ever did get sued, your personal assets would be at stake. The LLC gives you that extra layer of protection, and if you were sued, your company would be on the hook, not you. Your personal assets would be safe. Now, I'm in Canada where we don't have LLCs, we do have corporations, and so that's what I went with when I incorporated my business. Next thing you want to do is to choose a business name, and when you've got one, make sure you do a few different checks to make sure it's not already in use. Google it. Go onto Amazon, see if there's any other similar or the exact same publishing names. And if you're in the United States, you want to go to the USPTO database and make sure there's no trademarks that are already using that name. And if you're not in the United States, you'll have your own version of the USPTO database. Find out where you can get information about trademarks and do a trademark search to make sure that your name isn't already in use. And then finally, you want to make sure that the domain name is available as well. Once you've determined your business structure and you've determined the business name, then you will want to actually register your business. Now, you can do this yourself for roughly $50, but I really recommend going with a service to help you. It can be a little bit complicated, a little bit confusing, so it's nice to have a service that actually knows what they're doing, take care of all of that paperwork for you. Now, when I incorporated my business, it cost me about $500 to use a service. It's probably going to be very similar where you are, but I do think it's worth it so that you can get that expertise and you don't actually miss any parts of the process, so you can avoid any back and forth or having your name rejected or whatever the case may be. Once you're formally registered, then you want to set up a business bank account. You do not want to mix your business finances with your personal finances, especially now that they are two separate legal entities. You also want to register your domain name, get that set up. And then if you're publishing through KDP, you want to set up your KDP account as your business KDP account. Now, if you already have a KDP account, you do not need to open up a new one. You can just go into your existing account and you can swap out all of your personal information for your business information. That's exactly what I did, and it was pretty straightforward. From there, you get to publish your very first book under your brand new publishing business. And if you are purchasing your own ISBNs, that publishing name is what's going to show up in the publisher section of your book listing. Now, if you want to learn how to generate passive income, self-publishing journals, planners, and other low-content books, download my free guide, 3 Steps to Publishing Your First Low-Content Book in Less Than a Day. I've left a link to that down in the description below. And if you want to learn about KDP's royalty structure and want to figure out how to price your books for maximum profits, then check out this video next. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe, and I will see you on Monday.